The series finale from Western Pennsylvania as the Otters try to march one step closer to the Frontier League playoffs, finishing off a 6-game road trip with a series decider against the Washington Wild Things. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Washington, Pennsylvania, Wild Things Park. Another beautiful night for baseball between the Evansville Otters and the Washington Wild Things. Griffin, Epstein here on the Otters Digital Network. We'll simulcast as well on Flow Sports. If you have Flow Sports, I encourage you to tune in there and sync up the broadcast. The Otters trying to take back-to-back series on the road for just the second time this season and finish with their first winning 6-game road trip of the season. Otters 3-2 on the 6-game road swing, taking the last 2 games against Florence in Kentucky. Tried to do the same thing here in Washington. The Wild Things took game number 1 on Friday evening, 10-4. Got out to an early lead and never looked back. Otters pitching struggles continued on Friday, but that was not the case last night as the Otters pitching staff led by Braden Scott was dominant. Excellent 7 innings for Scott. He allowed just 4 base runners all game. A leadoff solo home run to Anthony Brocado started the game for Washington. After that, just 3 singles for Washington, as Braden Scott was brilliant in earning his 3rd win of the season. Kevin Davis and Jake Polancic worked scoreless innings out of the bullpen. Polancic getting his 14th save of the season. And the Otters offense, it was all about Ethan Skinder. He had 2 of the 5 hits for the Otters and both runs. A double in the 3rd inning would come around to score on a George Khalil base hit, and then the go-ahead home run in the 5th inning. And that was all the scoring for the Otters, but it was enough for a 2-1 victory. And it lowered the Otters' magic number to make the Frontier League West playoffs to 8 games. For Washington, it's really a must-win game tonight. They're 39-44, 11.5 back of first place. And with Joliet winning today, the Wild Things need to win to stay in a tie for 4th place with Joliet in the Frontier League West standings. Wild Things 6.5 games back of the Otters for the last playoff spot in the Frontier League West. Joliet's win, they currently are now 6 games back of the Otters for that last playoff spot. Time to meet the starting lineups. First for the Evansville Otters, 45-37 on the year. Otters are 5 games back of Gateway entering this evening. Gateway is 1, so the Otters 5.5 games back now of first place. The Edward Jones leadoff batter, Noah Myers again today. He'll play right field for the Otters. Coda Quiggle bats second to play center. Jeffrey Baez batting 3rd and the designated hitter. Dakota Phillips in the cleanup role and playing first base. Yomar Reyes bats 5th and plays 3rd. Ethan Skinder batting 6th and playing 2nd. Brian Rosario bats 7th and plays left field in his series debut. Justin Felix is back in the starting lineup after a night off. He will catch and bat 8th. And George Khalil rounds out the lineup as the Otters shortstop. Tim O'Grafer, the Otters ace, is on the mound tonight. He started this road trip in Florence on Tuesday night, suffered the loss, will look to bounce back to finish off this road trip. Tim 8-5 on the season, a sparkling 2.86 ERA is the 5th best ERA in the Frontier League. On the other side for the Washington Wild Things, they're trying to win their 3rd straight series in a row for the first time this season. The Wild Things 39-44. Anthony Brocado will lead off for Washington and play right field. Wes Darville bats 2nd and plays 3rd base. Wagner Lagrange batting 3rd and playing left field. Andrew Check in the cleanup spot plays 1st. Robert Jacob bats 5th and plays center field. Scotty DeBrule batting 6th and playing 2nd base. Bottom 3 in the Wild Things lineup. Melvin Novoa, the catcher for Washington, makes his first series start. Tommy Caulfield batting 8th in the DH. And Carson Clowers, the shortstop, bats 9th for Washington. Dario Frigio makes his first start of the season against the Otters this year. Another rookie pitcher the Otters will face. Frigio's been really good to start the season. 7 starts with a 3-2 record and a 3.76 ERA. He was the Frontier League Pitcher of the Week a couple weeks ago when he went 8 shutout against the Gateway Grizzlies. He has been solid this season, including coming off a win in his last start on Tuesday night against Gateway when he went 6 innings, allowing just 3 earned runs, and earn the win in a victory for Washington. It's another good pitching matchup tonight. We'll see if we have a pitcher's duel like last night or more of a shootout like we had on Friday night. Certainly a shootout favors the Wild Things. They like to hit. Pitching duel favors the Otters and their pitch-first mentality. So the Otters and Wild Things coming up. The series finale here from Washington as the Otters wrap up this 6-game road trip, and then we'll play their final 6 games at home starting on Tuesday against Joliet. Another big one for the playoff race. First pitch on the other side. You're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network and listening on Flow Sports. Welcome back to Wild Things Park, almost set for baseball on another beautiful evening from Western Pennsylvania. Otters and Wild Things playing for the series and the third to last Sunday of baseball in the Frontier League. Dario Frigio on the bump tonight for Washington. We talked about him in the pregame show. He's been really solid this year for Washington. Second straight night with a rookie pitcher on the bump for Washington. Frigio, 7 starts this season, 3-2, 28 and a third innings pitched, 3.18 ERA, 20 strikeouts to 11 walks. Contact pitcher has 2 quality starts, including his last start, a win against Gateway. Has not faced the Otters yet this season, so that's a difference than the other 5 starters in this series who've all faced off against the opponents. Around the diamond for Washington, Melvin Novoa makes his first start at catcher this series. Andrew Check at first, Scotty DeBrule at second, Carson Clowers at short, Wes Darville at third. In the outfield, Wagner Lagrange in left, Robert Chayka in center, and Anthony Brocato in right for Washington. It's a little bit hotter tonight than the last 2 days of baseball, and also starting an hour and a half earlier. 84 degrees with a few wispy clouds in the sky, but almost entirely sunny. Not much humidity, feels about refield temperature of 85, and wind for a second straight night not playing much of a factor, just 5 miles per hour. It is blowing out to left field for a third straight night. Temperatures will dip into the 70s, but we should be in the sunshine for pretty much the entirety of the ball game unless this game goes over 2.5 hours. Noah Myers will lead off for the Otters in the top of the first. Frigio ready on the right side of the rubber and ready for some Sunday evening baseball. First pitch home to Myers, a strike on the outside corner, and we're underway. Frigio at the belt delivers home. Another strike at the knees, 0-2. Drew Taylor is the home plate umpire. Jim Shalley is at third, and Mike O'Leary, the crew chief, at first. Oh, 2 coming from Frigio. The pitch home to Myers. At the knees, strike 3 called. 91 mile per hour fastball. Finds the bottom corner of the zone, and Myers strikes out looking to start the ballgame. 1 out in the first, and it brings up Kona Quiggle, the center fielder. Otters in their same uniforms as yesterday, all grays with blue numerals on the back. Evansville written in blue script across the chest. No piping, black belt, black helmet for the Otters unis. Another lefty, Kona Quiggle, stands in and swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. Washington in red tops with Wild Things written in brown across the front. White numerals on the front and the back. Black stripes on the red sleeves. The 0-1 is grounded right side and foul, 0-2. White pants with red piping, black socks, high black socks for Frigio on the bump. Black belt, red cap with a black brim. Quiggle will call time before this 0-2 count. Washington, as they've been doing all weekend, playing the Otters lefties to pull with 3 infielders on the right side. Only the third baseman, Darville, remains over on the left side. The 0-2 is grounded right into the shift. Over is the first baseman. Check to glove it. He'll take it himself to the first base bag and beat Quiggle there by 2 steps. There's 2 outs in the first inning. 2 outs, nobody on for the Otters. Designated hitter Jeffrey Baez. Otters have been great offensively all week. Last night was their least productive offensive performance of the week. Just 2 runs on 5 hits, but clutch hitting by Ethan Skinder, and it was enough for an Otters victory. Well, the Otters last night got back to their true identity as the first pitch to Baez misses outside for a ball. As much as the Otters have loved to see the bats get hot in this last week, it's an Otters team that's been built under Andy McCauley and pitching coach Max Peterson to be pitching first. 1-0 is hit hard left side and foul, 1-1. Just exactly how you drop a victory last night for the Otters. Some clutch hitting, get a little bit of power from Ethan Skinder. You have a starter shove, go 7. You bring in your setup man in the 8th. You bring in your closer in the 9th, and neither allows a base runner. Couldn't draw it up more perfect than that. Frigio out of the windup. Pitch home, a breaking ball at the letters for a strike, 1-2. 2 outs, nobody on for the Otters in the top of the first. Just underway, scoreless here from beautiful Washington, Pennsylvania. 1-2 home. Chopper off the end of the bat, softly hit left side, charged by the third baseman. Darville will field and toss to first to beat Baez by a step. Good play by the third baseman, Darville, cutting in front of the ball on the infield grass. Otters go down in order in the first. Tim Oldgrafer takes the bump for the Otters in the bottom half of the inning. You're listening to Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network. Welcome back to Washington County, Pennsylvania. No score between the Otters and the Wild Things. Otters went down in order in the top of the first. Evansville's ace on the bump here in the bottom half of the inning. Tim Holgrafer 8-5 this year with a 2.86 ERA. Tim is coming off a loss in his last start at Florence to start the road trip on Tuesday. Went 5 innings, allowing 9 hits on 4 runs. He dealt with some wet conditions. It was raining early in that ball game in northern Kentucky, and he ended up walking a season-high 3 batters. Tim has been lights out on the season, though. Now 100 innings pitched, which is 7th most in the Frontier League. 8 wins. Up and near the top of the Frontier League standings, and his ERA at 2.86, 5th best in the league. He's making his 17th start of the season. 11 of his first 16 starts have been quality outings, and he has 4 8-inning shutout performances on the season. Ready, Anthony Brocato leads off for Washington. Tim Holgrafer fires home, and Brocato takes the first pitch inside for a ball. Justin Felix is catching Holgrafer today for just the 2nd time this season. The 1-0 swung on and missed, 1-1. To go all the way back to the last time Holgrafer faced Washington, which was the first start of the season on opening day, the only time that Felix has got Holgrafer this season. The 1-1 from Tim. Swing and a miss by Brocato, 1-2. Out in front on a cutter. It was Holgrafer's worst start of the season back on opening day against Washington. He allowed a season-high 6 runs on 7 hits in just 4 innings. 1-2, chop left side to the left of the third base bag, and we'll do it all over again. Dakota Phillips, who got the start last night, almost never back-to-back starts, so Felix has been busy this week, making his 3rd start of the week. The 1-2. Grounded right back up the middle, speared off a hop by Holgrafer, and he tosses over to first for the first out. Nifty play by Tim, who showcased some excellent defensive skills around the mound all season. So Felix catching Holgrafer, that pitcher-catcher battery today, brought to you by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road in Evansville, or call at 812-475-9000. 1 out, nobody on for the lefty West Darville. Holgrafer out of the windup, delivers. A fastball just misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Fastball, cutter, and slider for Holgrafer with a heavy emphasis on his cutter. Working on the far right side of the rubber, black glove, delivers home. Chopped right side and foul. Up to the right of the first base bag. 0-2 count to Darville. Barely a cloud in the sky for the 3rd straight night here in western Pennsylvania. About 10 degrees hotter than last night. Could feel even hotter down on the turf and under the sun. Certainly to be a sweaty one for the players with an earlier start time as well. 1-1 count, pitch home, cutter on the outside corner for a strike, 1-2. All artificial turf field here at Wild Things Park. 405 to center, 325 down the lines, and deep gaps as well. 1-2. Chopped back up the middle again, and Holgrafer a little hop to glove it. This time underhand tosses to first for the 2nd out of the inning. How about that? Back-to-back groundouts right back to Holgrafer to start the game for the Otters ace. Both were tricky plays. One was hit hard by Brocato, and Holgrafer made a nice stab. This one was a high hopper, and Holgrafer had to make a little hop in front of the mound to go up and spear it for making the routine underhand toss to first and Dakota Phillips. So 2 outs, nobody on for Wagner Lagrange, the ready left fielder. Holgrafer home. Fastball just misses outside, 1-0. Dakota Phillips at first, Ethan Skinder at second, George Khalil at short, Yomar Reyes at third. In the outfield, Brian Rosario making his series debut in left, Kona Quiggle in center, and Noah Myers a rare start in right field. 1-0. Cut on and missed, 1-1. Baez DHing today. Rosario with his 42 stolen bases on the season. Always beneficial to have him in the starting lineup. Making his 23rd start of the season in left. The 1-1 popped up by Lagrange into right. Coming in is Noah Myers, and he makes the catch. for the third out of the inning. Just the second start of the season, and right for Noah Myers, he makes the inning-ending putout, and Tim Ografer works an in-order first inning. No base runners after one inning, no score on the Otters Digital Network. One inning complete from Washington. No score between the Otters and the Wild Things. Two perfect innings worked by Tim Ografer and Dario Frigio. The first two innings, Dakota Phillips will lead off for the Otters in the top of the second. Scoreless ball game on a lovely evening for baseball. Not a really good crowd for a third straight night. Each night's been a little bit smaller than the night before, at just under 3,000 on Friday night, 2,500 last night, and maybe about 2,000 by my bad crowd count here on this Sunday evening. First pitch to the lefty Phillips. The fastball misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Dak has had an unforgettable week at the plate. This 6-game road trip. 12 hits, 7 runs, 3 doubles, 3 home runs, and 8 RBIs in his first 5 games of the week. 1-0 is sliced off the screen, 1-1. 3 hits in this series, including a base hit yesterday. Pitch home from Frigio. Sails high. 2 balls and 1 strike to Phillips. 3 straight nights with a home run ended last night for Dak, but he became the first player this season for the Otters to have 3 straight games with a home run. 2-1. Outside again. 3 balls and 1 strike. Phillips, the first guy since Steven Sensley did it last year for the Otters back in June. 3 straight games for an Otter with the long ball. 3-1 from Frigio is flied away, foul on a full count. Frigio sets just above the belt, out of the windup, the delivery. Chopped right side, right into the shift again. DeBrule on the edge of the right field grass, gloves it and tosses to first for the first down. Now the shift has been working wonders so far for Tom Vaith in this series against the plethora of Otters lefty hitters. DeBrule playing a few steps back in the grass, and Phillips pulled it right to him. So 1 away in the second brings up Yomar Reyes, the Otters' third baseman, with nobody on. No score, yet to have our first base runner. Frigio delivers, fastball outside, 1-0. Talk about the Otters' identity is low-scoring ball games, and that's proved true against Washington. All 3 wins for the Otters, low-scoring games, as Reyes flies one foul just to my right off a sweep, 1-1. Otters in their 3 wins against Washington. They're 3-5 this season. 3-2 win in the first series, 1-0 win last weekend in Evansville, and a 2-1 win last night. No more than combined 5 runs in all those games. The 1-1 is slapped left side, right to the shortstop Clowers, who collects, tosses to first to beat Reyes by 2 strides, and there's 2 outs in the top of the second. You look at Washington's wins, Wild Things scored at least 7 runs in all 5 of their wins in the season series. This is the 9th and final game between these two this season. Otters trying to win their first series against the Wild Things, and just their second series out of the last 6 they've played over the last 2 seasons against Washington. 2 outs, nobody on for Ethan Skinder. First pitch home misses low and in the turf, 1-0. Skinder was the hero last night for the Otters. 2 for 3, scored both Otters runs, a leadoff double in the 3rd, and came around to score. Solo home run in the 5th inning to put the Otters in front. The 1-0. This is low. 2 balls and no strikes. He had 3 games off to sit on the bench, get some rest, refocus, and boy, did it work wonders for him. Frigio out of the windup, throws home, and Skinder rips one down the left field line, but it hooks foul and bounces into the Otters bullpen. Skinder had been 2 for 24 over 7 games going into last night's game. Having one of his slumps, he's had a few of them this season, and busted out of it in a big way last night. The 2-1 chop left side. Tough play for the shortstop Clowers. Backhanded play. Derek Jeter throw to first. Not in time. Skinder a head-first slide in the first base bag. Beats the athletic play by Clowers at short. That ball hit into the 5-6 hole. Clowers did a great job getting way over to field it. An off-balance leaping air throw, channeling Derek Jeter. He did that last week as well at Bosse. Was a good one, but just not in time to beat the speedy Skinder, laid out at first. Just beat the throw. It's the first base runner of the day, a 2-out infield base hit for Skinder. And there's a runner at first with 2 outs for the left fielder, Brian Rosario. Switch hitter batting lefty, and Rosario making his series debut. First pitch to Rosie, sails high. Skinder stealing, throw down to second is a great one. Out is Skinder. Skinder took off right away on the very first pitch, and Novoa making his series debut on the money, and Clowers tags Skinder out to retire the side. Frigio faces the minimum in the second. No score, middle of the second on the Otters Digital Network. Bottom second from sunny Washington, a tie ball game between the Otters and the Wild Things. Tim Ografer out to work the bottom of the second for Evansville. Will face Cheka and DeBrule, 4, 5, and 6 in the Washington lineup. They're working a 1-2-3 first inning on just 12 pitches. Series on the line this evening from Western PA. Ografer out of the windup, delivers home. A fastball at the knees for a strike. A 1. Breaking ball cut on and missed. 0-2. Now, Ografer didn't have his best stuff on Tuesday against Florence. Thought that the Precipitation, though, played a big factor. Oldgrafer's command has been his biggest strength all season. He's walked just 16 batters in 100 innings. But walked 3, a season high on Tuesday at Florence. 0-2 home. Fastball outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oldgrafer had a remarkable stretch, 34 straight innings pitched over 6 starts without giving up a walk. June 21st to August 4th, he did not walk a batter. 1-2 home. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oldgrafer's last couple dominant outings, you look at his last 2 8-inning shutout performances. Didn't walk anyone and had 17 combined strikeouts. 0-2 home. Breaking ball misses outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. What's been so impressive about Oldgrafer is he's had some spectacular starts, and he's done it in different ways. He's relied on his cutter. His last start against Windy City used a heavy dose of sliders. A lot more movement for a season high of 10 strikeouts. 2-2 home. Breaking ball misses outside, and that is ball 4. Well, there's the announcer's curse right there, talking about how he never walks anyone, and he leads off the second with a walk to Jacob. Check aboard at first, and it brings up Robert Cheka, the center fielder. First base runner of the game for Washington, and Oldgrafer will work out of the stretch now, leaning over to look in for the sign from Felix. That's above the belt. Nods, kicks, and delivers. Chopped third base side and foul, 0-1. A win today for Tim would move him to a tie for second most wins in the Frontier League with a couple other arms at 9. Colin Sullivan of Gateway, the only Frontier League pitcher in the double digits with 10 wins on the season. 0-1. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Cheka. One home. Inside again, 2 balls and 1 strike. Not an easy spot here for Oldgrafer this week. Start a road trip on Tuesday, you finish a road trip on Sunday. 2 tough starts to make. The 2-0, a breaking ball on the inside corner for a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. Kind of getting adjusted on Tuesday, and you have for the Otters a 3-hour bus ride to Florence and then making a start. And here everyone's tired and worn out and ready to go back home, and you have to make a start. One of the trickier weeks he can have as a Frontier League pitcher. The 2-2 is popped up into shallow left center field. Racing in is Quiggle to make the catch. Rosario was right behind him if need be, and there's 1 out in the bottom of the second. Evansville Otter fans, 2023 brings new opportunities to catch all the latest Frontier League action. Be sure to check out the Frontier League and your Evansville Otters on Flow Sports, the official streaming partner of the Frontier League. Never miss a game and follow along all the way to the championship. Just visit EvansvilleOtters.com for links to watch and subscribe today for all Frontier League and Flow Sports content. 1 on 1 out for the lefty, Scotty DeBrule. Oldgrafer fires home. A fastball misses high for a ball. 1 out, check it first. No score on the bottom of the second between the Otters and the Wild Things. It's really a must-win game tonight for Washington, trying to keep their fading playoff hopes intact. The 0-1 is sliced into center field. Racing is Quiggle, dives and makes the catch. Kona Quiggle, a spectacular play in center for the second out of the inning. Put a cape on Quiggle, and he's Superman. A leaping play in center field to rob one from DeBrule. Full extension leap on a very quickly dying line drive. 2 away, check it first, and Melvin Novoa, the catcher, stands in and takes a first pitch strike on the inner third. That's the second leaping catch of the week for Quiggle. Might be up to double digits now in terms of diving catches out in center field this year. Just covers so much ground in so little time, and the athleticism to then finish the catch as well. 0-1. Outside, 1-1 strike. Had a leaping catch at Florence in the Otters' first series of the week, and closing off the road trip with a web gem of a play. The 1-1 cut on and dribbled down the third baseline and back to the Otters dugout, 1-2. Sun completely, or the field I should say, completely in the sunshine and will remain so for the next hour or so before shadows start creeping across the first base line. 1-2. Cut on and missed. A cutter in on the hand, strikes out Novoa, and it's the first German-American bank strikeout of the day for Tim Holgrafer. He works around a leadoff walk in the second for a scoreless inning. After 2, no score between the Otters and the Wild Things on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Top of the third inning from the Commonwealth. No score between the Otters and the Wild Things with the series on the line tonight. The Otters trying to lower their magic number. Get into the Frontier League West playoffs. Just 4 series, 2 weeks remaining after tonight. The Otters with a win tonight can lower their magic number to 7 to get back to the Frontier League West playoffs for a second straight season. Brian Rosario was up in the second inning when Ethan Skinner was thrown out trying to steal. We'll step back up here in the third and takes a first pitch strike from Dario Frigio. Righty, who recently graduated from St. Leo's University, D2 school in Florida. Pitch home, cut on and missed, 0-2. Oh, 2 to Rosario. Is spoiled foul off the screen. Mentioned Frigio's been great so far this season for Washington. Another great pickup they had right around the All-Star break to retool this starting rotation. And it's been a lot of good pitching numbers for Washington over the last month plus. 0-2 home. Inside, 1-2 strikes. Frigio, 5 years at St. Leo University outside of Tampa, 28 starts, 16 wins in his last 2 seasons with the Division II Lions. 1-2 home. Chopped right side over the second baseman DeBrule to field it, and tosses to first in time to get Rosario one away in the third. Justin Felix, the catcher, comes up, nobody on, with 1 out here in the third, no score. Felix, after a day off yesterday, Started on Friday, went 0 for 4 without a hit yet this week. He's 0 for 8. Frigio home. Breaking ball misses outside, 1-0. Have a lot of great entertaining games in between innings here at Wild Things Park. So here's the 1-0. It's flying foul and out of play, headed towards I-80, 1-1. One of them is the Wild Thing, the mascot here in Washington. Races two kids who have a about 10-foot high beach ball down the right field line, and the Wild Thing has a normal-sized beach ball. The 1-1 is fly to right side again, and now to play 1-2. The Wild Thing won on Friday, the first time all season, and the press box went nuts. He's a little bit clumsy. Yesterday, he fell repeatedly trying to go down the first base line, and the two kids running away, and then he tripped and fell right before the finish line this evening and wouldn't have had a chance to win anyways. The 1-2 misses outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Entertaining ball game though, and it's a 10-foot high beach ball. You don't see those every day. Pretty tough for the kids to roll down the line. It's fun to watch. The 2-2 is fouled off the screen. Nothing is harder though than trying to do anything inside of a sweaty, smelly, hot costume where you can barely see. You take anything else pretty much any day over that. Felix will call time. 2-2 count with nobody on and 1 out in the top of the third. No score between the Otters and the Wild Things. Frigio delivers inside, no full count to Felix. Another really cool promotion they have here at Wild Things Park. And I'd seen the last couple days in the latter innings, fans will be lining up on the concourse behind the home plate for something. Is it hot dogs, hamburgers? It's hard to say. Here's the payoff. It sails high, ball 4. First walk for Frigio. Felix aboard at first with 1 out. I'll bring up George Khalil. No score between the Otters and the Wild Things. It's actually milk and cookies for $1. You get stand in line, have a warm cookie and some milk, and enjoy the ball game in the latter innings here at Wild Things Park. Really cool idea, and I mean, I've never heard of that really at any other sporting event. I think milk and cookies before bedtime, but how about milk and cookies an evening baseball game? Sounds good to me. His first pitch to Khalil, a strike in on the hands. I got to taste one of the cookies after the game last night, too. You could tell they were homemade. Gooey chocolate in your mouth. 0-1 inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Khalil. Felix at first. 1 out in the top of the third. No score between the Otters and the Wild Things. Feels like we have another pitcher's duel brewing for a second straight night this evening between the veteran righty Tim Holgrafer and the rookie for Washington, Dario Frigio. Pitch home is chopped foul by Khalil, 1-2. Hard thrower, Frigio. Fastball, 92-93 so far tonight. Keeping the Otters off balance early. Evansville just 1 hit and 1 walk. Frigio at the belt delivers. Swing and a miss. Khalil down on strikes on a fastball up. That was at 93 from Frigio. And there's 2 away. Back to the top of the order in Noah Myers. Justin Felix still at first. No score in the top of the third. Righty pitcher facing the lefty batter. Felix a 3-stride lead at first. The pitch home, a strike at the knees. Third baseman Darvill is aligned with the bag. The shortstop Clowers shaded up the middle, and the second baseman DeBrule 3 steps out into right field, playing Myers the pole. 0-1 to Myers is sent high in the air to right field. Back is Brocato at the wall, leaps, goodbye. Noah Myers, a 2-run home run, puts the Otters in front in the top of the third. 384 feet off the bat of Myers, soaring over the right field wall, and Noah tops off a memorable road trip. His 5th home run in his last 11 games and 16th of the season. That's 9 hits now on this road trip too for Myers. A fastball at 93 right over the heart of the zone, and Myers crushed it over the right field wall. Brocato leaped at the wall, but that one was way gone. And the Otters go in front 2-0 here in the third. Quiggle steps up and fouls the first pitch he sees away. What a week for Noah Myers. Both him and Dakota Phillips just remarkable performances over these 6 games on the road. 0-1, swung on and missed 0-2. It's been a hot August for Noah Myers. 5 home runs in the month. And he has had a big-time week. It's his 9th run scored this week. He now has scored 75 runs this season. That's 4th most in the Frontier League. Oh, 2 to Quiggle. Misses low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's Noah's 3rd homer of this road trip. He had back-to-back home runs on Wednesday and Thursday at Florence. So 3 home runs in the last 6 games for the Canadian. 1-2 home. Popped up left side. Wild Things will give it a chase, but it's hooking out of play and bouncing along to the picnic pavilion. Not only is it 3rd home run of the week for Myers, but it's the 11th home run of the road trip for the Otters, and now 6 straight games with a homer for Evansville. All 6 games of this road trip, the Otters have hit a home run. That's tied for a season long for Evansville. 6 straight games with a homer. 2-2 to Quiggle. Fly left side and out of play. This feels like the recipe for the Otters. If they can get back to pitching like they have for most of the season, hit for power, and have a couple guys red hot in their lineup, as Frigio is going to call time and tie his shoe, this Otters team could be very difficult to beat over the last 2 weeks and into the Frontier League playoffs. Power will win you ball games and will win you championships. 2-2 from Frigio. Check swing on a pitch in the zone. Quiggle couldn't hold up, went around, and that's strike number 3. Quiggle strikes out, but not before Noah Myers, his 3rd home run of the week, a 2-run blast over the right field wall, puts the Otters in front 2-0. Middle of the third, you're listening to Otters Baseball on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and watching on Flow Sports. Bottom of the 3rd inning from Washington. The Otters take the lead for the first time in this series scored first on a Noah Myers 2-run home run. And Tim Oldgrafer with some early run support, yet to allow a hit through the first 2 innings, faces Tommy Caulfield to lead off the 3rd. First pitch to the lefty, sails outside for a ball. Otters have hit a home run every game of this road trip, and Myers and Phillips, weeks to remember. Certainly curious to see if the Otters can bring their power back to Bosse Field. They really struggle to hit home runs a lot more at Bosse, which isn't a huge surprise. It's a very pitchers-friendly ballpark, and the ball doesn't carry, but Otters could use some wins next week as the 2-0 is cut on and missed 2-1 with a big series against Joliet to start the week. Power feels like a lot of portions of this season the Otters offense is relied on, and without home runs, there's not much there. The 2-1 misses outside. 3 balls and 1 strike to Caulfield. Certainly extra base hits have been a big part of the Otters offense, leading the league in triples, 2nd in the league in doubles, and now 80 home runs, make it 81 home runs on the season. The 3-1 misses outside, ball 4. Leadoff walk to Caulfield. 2 walks today for Oldgrafer. Caulfield aboard at first, and it brings up the shortstop, Carson Clowers. Oldgrafer back to working out of the stretch. 3-stride lead at first for Caulfield, with Phillips holding him on the bag. Otters middle infielder shaded in as Clowers shows bunt and fouls it off backwards. 2 was enough yesterday for an Otters 2-1 win. Braden Scott threw 7 excellent innings, earning his 3rd win of the season, and the Otters evened up the series at a game apiece. Trying for a winning road trip to go 4-2 on this road trip with a win tonight. Clowers shows bunt, and the 0-1 home is fouled off the end of the bat. 0-2. You think Braden has a big start last night. All he'd want to talk about is pitching performance, but he's a big UFC fan, and I couldn't get a peep out of him about his start. He was too locked in on the fights. It was UFC 200 and something. I don't know. I don't follow UFC. It's just every weekend there's another fight. It's 252 and 253. He knew what number it was, though. Apparently it was a big night of fights from what I was told. 0-2 is popped up into left field. A few steps back as Rosario reaches up the glove and makes the catch. There's the first out of the 3rd. 1 away, Caulfield still at first. Back to the top of the order for Washington and Anthony Brocato, the right fielder. Brocato has the only run for Washington now, stretching over the last 12 innings. Leadoff solo home run in the first yesterday, the only runoff, Scott. The first pitch home to the righty, misses inside for a ball, 1-0. 2-0 Otters lead, bottom of the 3rd with 1 out. Oldgrafer working on the right side of the rubber. Kicks and delivers. A cutter at the letters for a strike, 1-1. Oldgrafer peeks over his shoulder at first, and the 1-1 home. Taking off is Caulfield. Throw from Felix down to second, a good one, but the ball bounces out of the glove of Skinder as he made a diving attempt to try to tag out Caulfield. And Tommy is safe at second. So Caulfield at second, first runner in scoring position for Washington with 1 out. And it's a 1-2-1 count to Brocato. Good effort by Skinner. He dove trying to turn around to tag out Caulfield. Just couldn't keep the ball in his mitt. Oldgrafer spins around. Good pickoff throw back to second. Skinner's tagged just half a second too late to get Caulfield. Holdgrafer was just staring back at second base. Caulfield was kind of beating him to make the throw, and eventually Holdgrafer did. It was a close play. 2-1 home. Fastball just missed inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Washington yet to have any hard hit balls off Holdgrafer, though. Tim's command for a second straight start, not super sharp to start. 2 walks for a guy that at times has felt unhittable this year. It's the 2-1 called a strike of the letters. 3-2 is the count. It's felt unhittable at times in big part because he just doesn't walk batters. You have to hit off it. Full count to Mercado. Holdgrafer home. Popped up into center field. Taking Quiggle back a few steps from the track, makes the catch, spins around and throws to third. And Caulfield will put on the brakes at second on any tag attempt. And with 2 outs, Caulfield remains at second here in the bottom of the third. Next up, Wes Darville, the third baseman, lefty for Washington, as we take our first scoreboard check, brought to you by WJPS 107.1. Bunch of afternoon games today in the Frontier League, so a lot of finals already. Gateway winning the series over Lake Erie. The Grizzlies finished their 6-game road trip 3-3. They dominate the Crushers 6-2 today. They scored 6 runs in the third and never looked back. First pitch to Darville, sails high for a ball, 1-0. So Otters don't get any help in Avon, but they do at Ozinga Field. The Thunderbolts walk off the Boomers 6-5. The Otters win tonight. They would move to 3 games back of Schaumburg for second place in the West. Otters, with a win tonight, stay 5 games back of Gateway for first place. 1-0 to Darville. Chopped right side and foul. 1-1. Joliet sweeps Florence. They beat the Alls 2-0. Carter Spivey worked a perfect game into the 7th inning for Florence, but Joliet scored 2 unearned runs in the 8th inning. And the Slammers sweep the Alls 2-0, and means the Slammers still in the playoff race. Everything to play for when they come to play the Otters. The first series of the week at Bosse starting on Tuesday. 2-1, misses low. 3 balls and 1 strike. If the Otters lose today, Joliet would be just 5.5 back of the Otters for the last playoff spot in the West. Obviously, you need a sweep, but still got a shot and have been playing some excellent baseball in the month of August. 2-1, chopped right side. A few steps back is Skinder to collect, tosses to first in time for the out. Second straight inning for Holdgrafer. Deja vu, leadoff walk, and then gets the next 3 batters retired in order. After 3 innings, it's the Otters in front 2-0 on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Top four from Western PA. 2-0 lead for the Otters over the Wild Things on a warm, sunny Sunday evening. Two-run home run by Noah Myers, giving the Otters a 2-0 lead. And Tim Mulgrafer has allowed just 2 base runners through his first 3 innings of work, both on walks. Jeffrey Baez leading off the top of the 4th. Swings and misses at a pitch from Dario Frigio. And he's quickly in an 0-2 hole after taking a first pitch strike. Frigio home. Baez pops it up into center field, taking Jacob back a few steps from the track, drifting over to his right, leans over and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. For a landscape design that is truly unique, look to locally owned Wild Horticulture. Whether you need a team to design and construct a large-scale landscape project for your business or looking to create an epic backyard retreat complete with plants, water, and light installation, the experienced team at Wild can take your ideas to the next level. You've likely seen their creative work all over town. Wild Horticulture has the skills and resources to deliver inspiring spaces and bring your ideas to life. Have a project in mind? Find them on Instagram and at wildspaces.com. Dakota Phillips, lefty batter, swings away at the first pitch from Frigio and fouls it off the side of his foot. 1 out, nobody on in the top of the 4th. 2-0 Otters in front. Phillips is the beer batter for the second time in 3 games here at Wild Things Park. I told some of their interns that was a bad idea to have Phillips as the beer batter with how hot he is, and it indeed was on Friday. Didn't strike out and had a home run instead. 0-1 is swung on and lofted into right center field over his Cheka to make a running catch. 2 away. Now he's just seeing the ball so well right now, even if he's going to get out, it's probably not by way of the strikeout. Back-to-back flyouts to center to start this second. Brings up Yomar Reyes, the Otters' third baseman, with 2 outs to nobody on. 2-0 Otters in front. The Sunday series finale, final game of the season between the Otters and the Wild Things. Pitch home to Reyes, taken all the way low, 1-0. Frigio delivers. Reyes pops it up sky high on the air on the infield. Third baseman Darville calling everyone up, reaches up the glove and makes the catch a few steps down the third base line. Otters go down in order quickly in the top of the 4th. Frigio, 4 innings complete on 52 pitches. Middle of the 4th, Otters lead 2-0 on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Bottom 4th, 2-0 lead for the Otters over the Wild Things in a Sunday series finale. Wagner-Lagrange leads off for Washington. Tim Holdgrafer, working on 3 strong shutout innings, fires a first pitch cutter to Lagrange, and it's hacked out and missed, 0-1. 3 innings pitched for Holdgrafer, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, no hits on 47 pitches. Kick and a delivery. Cutter hacked and missed again by Lagrange, 0-2. "14 straight innings for the Wild Things without a run against the Otters, going back to the 7th inning of Friday night. 0-1. That was 0-2, excuse me, but it misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tim working on the right side of the rubber, out of the windup, delivers. Swing and a miss. Cutter dives out of the zone at the last moment. Strikeout number 2 for Tim. Away in the 4th, and we'll take a look at the Frontier League standings, brought to you by Seal Corp. Gave you some scores already. Gateway winning, Schaumburg losing. The Grizzlies are 2 games up now on Gateway for first place in the Frontier League West. The Otters 5.5 back now with Gateway. Evansville trying to get a win to move just 3 back of Schaumburg as Andrew Check, lefty batter, takes the first pitch strike at the knees. Joliet and Washington entering the day both 11.5 back, tied for 4th, with the Slammers winning today. Check fouls one straight back off a light pole, and it bounces back into the stands in front of it. 0-2. Windy City, Florence, and Lake Erie bringing up the rear. All soon to be eliminated from playoff contention. 0-2 from Holdgrafer. Swing and a miss. Cutter dives out of the zone. Check down to a knee, chasing it. Back-to-back strikeouts to start off the 4th for Tim. He's in a groove now. 2 outs brings up Robert Chayka with nobody on here in the 4th inning as the Otters lead 2-0 on a Noah Myers 2-run homer. First pitch home to Chayka. Misses low for a ball, 1-0. In the East, New Jersey winning last night, Quebec losing. Jackals and Capitales tied for first to top the East, with Tri-City in the 3rd playoff spot, 2.5 back. New York and Sussex County still keeping hopes alive to try to catch Tri-City for that last playoff spot as Chayka takes a strike, 1-1. Sussex County is up. They've won 7 of their last 10. Tri-City has cooled off a little bit in the month of August. 1-1 home. A breaking ball in on the inside corner for a strike, 1-2. Jackals have won 5 in a row, and they're playing Empire State again today, so you can probably mark that up to 6 in a row for the Jackals. Trying to win the East Division in their first year at their new stadium. 1-2. A chopper right back to Holdgrafer. Gloves it on the edge of the mound. Underhand toss to first to retire Chayka. A 1-2-3. 4th inning for Holdgrafer. He's worked 4 shutout, and the Otters in front 2-0. The Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Top 5 from the Commonwealth. 2-0 lead for the Otters over the Wild Things. Second straight night of a pitcher's duel between these two West foes. Washington back-to-back divisional titles, but just trying to hold on to their playoff hopes. They really need a win tonight. 6.5 back of the Otters for the last playoff spot. And Evansville, with the win tonight, can move their magic number down to 7 and have a realistic shot of clinching at home next week. Ethan Skinder swings the first pitch, chops it to the third baseman. Darvalu gloves it, throw across the body, beats Skinder. 1 pitch, 1 out for Frigio in the top of the 5th inning. One out brings up Brian Rosario, switch hitter batting lefty. There have been just a combined 2 hits so far in this ball game. 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors for the Otters. No runs on no hits, no errors for Washington. Skinder has one of those 2 hits. The first pitch home misses inside, 1-0. Justin Felix walked in the third, and Noah Myers hit a 2-out, 2-run home run to right. Give the Otters a 2-0 lead. Skinder had the first hit of the game in the second. 1-0 from Frigio. Sails high. 2 balls and no strikes to Rosie. Just 55 pitches for Frigio here in the top of the 5th. He's rolling along at a really quick 4th inning. 2-0. Grounded up the middle. Over is the second baseman. DeBrule backhanded throw to first in time to get the sliding Rosario. Backhanded play by DeBrule. His throw behind the second base bag. Impressive to first. And Rosie a head first slide into first. Ethan Skinder did the same thing on his hit in the second. But Rosario can't beat it down the line. And there's 2 quickly retired here in the 5th. Justin Felix will try to keep the inning alive for the Otters. He walked in his first at-bat back in the 3rd inning and scored on the Myers homer. First pitch home to Felix. A strike right down the middle. Otters trying to win back-to-back road series. Came into this week dropping 5 straight road series. It really become a problem. The 0-1 misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. But the offense has been terrific, and the Otters trying to make it back-to-back strong pitching performances. Braden Scott brilliant last night, and Tim Oldgrafer off to a great start tonight. 1-1 on the outside corner. 1-2 to Felix. Be just the second time this season the Otters have a run of back-to-back road series wins. Otters had 3 straight road series wins in June, but those were spaced out over 3 different weeks. No 6-game trip where they've won both road series. 1-2, popped up right side and drifts out of play. Otters are also closing in on finishing 500 or better for a 10th straight season under Andy McCauley. What an accomplishment. They're only 3 wins away from clinching a 500 season. 1-2 to Felix. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. No, it hit Felix. It hit him right on the elbow. Not by much, but Drew Taylor called it right away, the home plate umpire. So Felix is aboard at first for a 2nd straight inning. And Tom Vaith, the Wild Things manager, is not too pleased at the call from Taylor. Out to dispute. He's saying Felix maybe leaned into it too. It just nipped off the bottom of his elbow, and there wasn't much reaction from Justin, but he went right down and took his base. Tom Vaith back to the dugout, frustrated. George Khalil comes up for the Otters. Felix at first with 2 outs, and the Otters leading 2-0 here in the top of the 5th. To add a little bit of insurance as they try to go home with back-to-back series wins. Khalil swings the first pitch, drives it into left center field over his Cheka, and he makes a running grab to retire the side. Dario Frigio, 5 strong innings on just 58 pitches. He's held the Otters to 2 hits and 2 runs. Middle of the 5th, a pitcher's duel for a 2nd straight night. It's 2-0 Otters in front on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Bottom 5 from Wild Things Park here in Washington, Pennsylvania. We're about 30 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. We have been blessed with beautiful weather all weekend here in Western PA after really bad weather in Florence, Kentucky to start the road trip for the Otters. It's been nothing but brilliant sunshine all 3 games here from Washington. Tim Ografer working on a gem. He'll face Scotty DeBrule to lead off the 5th. DeBrule swings the first pitch, drives it up the middle under the glove of Skinner and into center field. A base hit for DeBrule in the first hit of the game for Washington. Hardest hit ball of the game, no doubt, too. 102 off the bat of DeBrule and just under the glove of the diving Skinner over the second base bag. So DeBrule at first brings up Melvin Novoa, the catcher. With nobody out in the 5th, and the Otters leading 2-0. A Noah Myers 2-run home run. Ografer home, swing and a miss by Novoa. Nicaraguan Novoa getting the first start at catcher this weekend for him. Hitting .207, 53 games played. Only Wild Things All-Star this year. There's only a couple guys, I think, maybe a little surprising word on the All-Star roster this year for Washington as Novoa chops it off the end of the bat, 0-2. Good catchers are hard to come by. Novoa was the backup catcher in the West behind the Otters' Dakota Phillips. I know some Washington people thought Andrew Czech was robbed of a spot at first, and certainly Wagner Lagrange would have been a good candidate for his second straight All-Star game, but Novoa, the lone representative for the Wild Things out of Zinga Field this year. 0-2. Chopped out, left side, glove by Khalil. A toss to second, over to first, double play. 6-4-3 double play. Khalil to Skinner to Phillips, clears the base runners, and there's 2 away. Really softly hit ball, thought off the bat. There's no chance that was going to be turned, but Khalil did a great job getting to the ball quickly, and excellent throw to Skinner, and ended up actually beating Novoa pretty easily down the line. So 2 outs, nobody on for the designated hitter, Tommy Caulfield. It's Khalil's 25th double play turn to the season as Caulfield takes outside. And Ethan now 29 double plays on the year. Those 2 have tag teamed to form an excellent middle infield for most of the season for the Otters. 1-0 to the lefty. A fastball on the outside corner, called a strike, 1-1. Still no shadows on the field under bright sunshine and beautiful backdrop here at Wild Things Park. The 1-1 at the knees for a strike, 1-2. A few houses dotting the hill out past center field, covered with lush, deciduous trees. Rolling green hills spreading out in both directions the eye can see here from Wild Things Park, with the city of Washington down the hill towards the east. West Virginia is only about 30 minutes away. The other way on I-80 to the west. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Cutter falling out of the zone. Caulfield strikes out, the 4th German-American bag strikeout for Tim Ografer. He's just 1 over the minimum through 5 innings and rolling along. It's 2-0 Otters after 5 played on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Top of the order for the Otters leads off in the top of the 6th inning. Otters lead 2-0. Noah Myers takes a first pitch low for a ball to start the 6th. Myers contributing for the only run so far in today's ball game. His last at bat, a 2-run home run to right. 1-0. This is low. 2 balls and no strikes. Myers hitting his 3rd home run of the week. Has now 74 runs, make it 75 runs on the season. 2-0. This is low again. 3 balls and no strikes. He's now only 8 shy of Josh Allen, who holds the record for 83 runs scored in a season. Otters single season history back in 2017. 0-2, or 3-0, I should say. That's on the outside corner, 3-1. For those of you that didn't follow the Otters back 2016-2017, Josh Allen, a key cog of that Otters 2016 Frontier League Championship winning team. The 3-1 misses outside, ball 4 to Myers. He is not related to the Buffalo Bills quarterback, also named Josh Allen. And in fact, only one of them has a professional championship at the moment, and that's the Otters' Josh Allen. Not that I'm firing shots or anything. I think the football Josh Allen might get there soon. Here, though, Noah Myers aboard for the 2nd time with a walk in the 6th, and Kona Quiggle comes up for Evansville with the leadoff runner aboard. Otters trying to extend a 2-0 lead. Quiggle shows bunt and pulls it back, a strike on the outside corner. A great stat that showcases Myers' versatility this year, and I think should make him the favorite for Frontier League Rookie of the Year in the league. He's the only player in the league with 30 or more stolen bases, 50 or more walks, and 15 or more home runs. And that's obviously not even including his runs, where he's 4th most in the league, as Quiggle takes outside 1-1. Myers has 20 doubles as well as on base percentage entering today. Was in the top 10 of the Frontier League. He does everything well. He takes off, headed to second, pitches in for a strike, throw down to second. One hops the glove of Clowers and not in time. Not the best jump by Myers, but the throw one hopped into the glove of Clowers, and that allowed Myers the extra half a second to make it safely into second, sliding in for his 32nd stolen base of the season. He was thrown out for just the 2nd time all year yesterday on what was really a blown call from Mike O'Leary at second base. Upon review, Myers was safe. But he gets a stolen base on the week here, and the Otters have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. And it's a 1-1 count to Quiggle. Frigio delivers. Quiggle grounds it right side and foul, 1-2. Already top of the 6th inning here from Washington. Otters lead 2-0. Delivery home, outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Andy McCauley, Otters manager in his 14th season. I know he always enjoys returning to his home state here in Pennsylvania. Grew up in Allentown on the other side of the state. He went to school here as well, up in Mansfield College, up in the north central part of the state. Small D2 liberal arts school. Quiggle swings and pops one up into left field, carrying Lagrange over a few steps, and under the baseball makes the catch, 1 away. Brings up Jeffrey Baez, who's 0 for 2 today. Myers still at second. Evansville leading 2-0. Pitch home to Baez. A breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Much quieter Otters offense the last 2 days after their explosion at Florence. 2 runs on 2 hits so far today with 2 walks and a hit by pitch. As fun as Thursday was, and it was a blast, a game you don't forget. It was certainly one of those, just everything worked right as Myers heads down to third, and he's in safely without a throw. Pitch missed inside for a ball on a breaking ball. Myers got a huge jump, and the third baseman, Darville, was late getting to the bag, and Novoa didn't even try to throw down there. Little sneak attack steal from Myers. I don't think any of the Wild Things were expecting it, and now Washington infield is in with Myers at third and 1 out. 1-1 count to Baez. Pitch home, a strike right down the middle, 1-2. Make it stolen base number 33 for Myers. Great chance here for the Otters to just chip across another run in a low-scoring ball game like tonight. It's big. 1-2 to Baez. Chopped up the middle, diving the shortstop Clowers past his glove into center. Base hit Myers, and the Otters lead 3-0. Noah scores his second run of the game, an RBI base hit by Baez. Certainly hoping the infield playing in. A chopper up the middle. The shortstop Clowers probably playing back in his normal spots, able to make the play, but playing in. Got past his glove and over the second base bag into center. And the Otters chip across another run, and Noah keeps on moving his way up. Runs scored this season. He's got now 76 runs scored and getting closer and closer to that record. Go to Phillips, takes the first pitch, strike. A 1, misses low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Just to go back to the record, Josh Allen, 83 runs. Noah Myers now 76 runs. I mean, it feels like it's, at this point, it's just a matter of if, but not when. Noah Myers becomes first in the record books, most ever runs scored in 28 years of Otters baseball. He's only 6 away and has 13 games to play with. Phillips swings and drives one into right field. 2 up in front of Mercado for a base hit. Baez heading to third. The throw from Mercado is cut off. Baez ahead first, slides safely in without a tag. And Dakota Phillips makes it 6 for 6. At least a hit in every game in this road trip. Pounds a line drive into right, and Baez goes first to third, and Tom Vaith coming out to talk with Dario Frigio as the Otters trying to add some more insurance here, and that's going to do it for Frigio. He pitched well tonight, 5 1/3, 3 earned runs allowed on 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 81 pitches. Washington trying to keep this a close game will go to the bullpen. Otters have runners on the corners, still just 1 out in the 6th and lead 3-0. We'll be right back on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Otters trying to blow it open in the top of the 6th inning from Washington. They lead 3-0 and have 2 on with 1 out as they face the Submariner Steven Knapp coming out of the bullpen for Washington. Knapp making his 22nd appearance of the season, 54 and a third innings pitched, 4.47 ERA for Knapp. Crafty righty who comes from all the way down, submarine-style pitcher. And the Otters saw him a couple times last weekend at Bosse Field. He pitched an inning in a third total scoreless and has been strong of late. Hasn't allowed a run in 10 2/3 innings pitched out of the pen for the Wild Things. Washington badly needing some outs here, trying to keep it a 3-run ball game. Baez at third, Phillips at first with 1 out, and Yomar Reyes the batter. First pitch home is fouled straight back and bouncing just to my right, 0-1. Yomar is 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a fly out. Otters have 1 across here in the 6th, leading 3-0. Pitch home is lined into left field, down for a base hit. Baez will score. It's 4-0 Evansville. Picked up and thrown in by Lagrange. Phillips holds it second, 3 straight singles for the Otters here in the 6th to make it a 4-0 ball game. Baez, Phillips, and Reyes, heart of the order for the Otters coming through here in the 6th inning. Now bring up Ethan Skinder trying to keep it going and just blow this game open in the 6th inning. 2 across in the 6th, 4-0 Otters. Skinder's 1 for 2 today. Knapp delivers, Skinder swings and chops one to short. Clowers is there, tosses to second base, over to first. In time, double play. 6-4-3 double play ends the inning and retires the threat, but the Otters get 2 runs across in the 6th inning. Noah Myers led off with a walk, scored on a base hit by Baez. Phillips and Reyes follow with RBI base hits of their own. As the Otters add 2 in the 6th. Middle of the 6th inning, Otters in front 4-0 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bottom of the 6th inning from Washington. The Otters getting closer to a winning road trip and taking back-to-back road series wins. Tim Holgrafer has been excellent for the Otters, helping them out to a 4-0 lead tonight. Carson Clowers leads off for Washington, swings the first pitch, lines it left side off the glove of Khalil. It falls on the left field turf, and it'll be a base hit for Clowers. Khalil nearly made a impressive catch on a hard-hit line drive, just off the end of the outside of his glove, and leadoff base hit for Clowers. That's just the 2nd hit of the game for Washington, as Holgrafer will now go through the lineup for the 3rd time. Anthony Brocata, the leadoff batter, 0 for 2 today. Clowers at first with nobody out. Pitch home, chopped on and foul tipped off the end of the bat and hit off Felix, the catcher, 0-1. 5 innings pitched for Holgrafer, now at 67 pitches, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, just the 2 hits allowed. He has been dominant tonight, trying for his 5th 8-inning shutout performance of the season. Getting his 9th win as well of the year. Didn't have his best stuff against Florence on Tuesday to start the road trip. It's all been clicking tonight. Three-stride lead at first for Clowers. Holgrafer working out of the stretch. The 0-1 to Bricado, right down the middle, 0-2. 67 pitches here for Tim. Very comfortable pitch count. Guy that doesn't go super deep into ball games. Season high just 102, but certainly good at the moment for a couple more innings. 0-2. Popped up into left field, taking Rosario back, and it's off the wall. Hustling around third is Clowers. He's held up there. The throw comes into second, bouncing around Skinder's feet as Bricado is safely into second with a double. Just missed a home run as it bounced off the top half of the wall and left over the head of Rosario. And Washington has its first chance here for some real offense in the 6th inning. A base hit to Clowers, and Bricado comes through with a double off the wall. Clowers at third, Bricado at second with nobody out. Brings up the lefty third baseman, Wes Darville. Shadows starting to creep across the first base line. They're about to get to home plate. Just past 7 o'clock local time here in Washington. Pitch home from Holgrafer. Darville swings and grounds on right side. Diving Skinner under his glove into right. 1 run will score. Bricado is held at third, and Washington's on the board. 3 straight hits for the Wild Things here in the 6th inning, all of a sudden waking up. Otters had had 16 straight innings pitched without allowing a run to Washington, but a leadoff single by Clowers, double by Bricado, and now an RBI base hit by Darville to the right side. Puts Washington on the board and cuts the lead to 4-1. Runners on the corners, Bricado at third, Darville at first, Wagner Lagrange coming up, and the Otters pitching coach Max Peterson walking out to the mound to chat with Holgrafer in the Otters infield. Evansville's bullpen will start getting busy. Leone De La Cruz, the all-star lefty pitcher who hasn't thrown since Thursday, is warming up in the Otters bullpen. Wagner Lagrange, one of the best players in the Frontier League last year, hitting .346, has had another great year hitting .301, but quiet over the last 2 days in this series, 0 for his last 6. The tying run on the on-deck circle for Washington. First pitch home to the righty, Lagrange misses outside, ball number 1. Bricado at third, Darville at first, nobody out in the 6th. Otters holding on to a 4-1 lead, just trying to avoid the big inning. Holgrafer working out of the stretch, delivers, swing and a miss. A cutter at 82 in the lower half of the zone. Holgrafer peeks over his shoulder at first to Darville, has a 2-stride lead there. Phillips holding him on the back. The 1-1 home. Cut on and missed. Another cutter in almost the exact same spot from Holgrafer, and Lagrange swings through it, 1-2. Just need some outs here for the Otters. Another run comes across, no worries. Got 2 runs in the 6th for some insurance. 1-2 from Tim. Swing and a miss. Cutter again, and Lagrange all out of sorts. Swinging and missing. It's the 5th German-American bank strikeout for Holgrafer, and a huge first out in the 6th inning. One away will bring up Andrew Check. I'm going to say foul tipped the ball. Now Lagrange is walking back towards the batter's box. The umpires are going to quickly confer here. Now he's out. I didn't think so. Lagrange maybe he has a degree in acting. He was trying to play it off that he foul tipped it, just stuck around home plate. He was ready to go for another at bat, but he did not get a piece of that. So Lagrange down on strikes, and it will bring up the lefty Andrew Check. Runners on the corners, now 1 out in the 6th. The Otters leading 4-1. Holgrafer trying to work around more trouble. The all-star pitches home, outside 1-0. 75th pitch of the evening for Tim Holgrafer in his 2nd start of this road trip. He's pitched 106 innings now on the year for the Otters. 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. It's really been a workhorse this year. 17 starts in his first season with the Otters, and then 4 last year before being picked up by the Kansas City Royals organization. The 2-0 from Tim. Outside corner, just missed. 3 balls and no strikes to check. There is an empty base at second. Robert Chayka is due up after check. Check the tying batter here at the plate in the 6th. 3-0. Just missed outside, and a 4-pitch walk to check. Third walk of the game for Holdgrafer. Back-to-back starts for him with 3 walks after he hadn't done that all season in his first 14 starts of the year. So what a big spot here for Robert Chayka, the center fielder. 0 for 2 today. Bases loaded and 1 out. And the Otters holding on to a 4-1 lead. They will leave out their veteran righty Holdgrafer. Tim sets at the chest and delivers. Chopped off the end of the bat down the right field line. Fielded by Holdgrafer, underhand, tossed to first for the 2nd out. Washington will score a run. Mercado scores from third. But the Otters take the out and trade the run with Washington. 2 across in the inning for Washington. They've cut the lead in half. It's now 4-2. Darvill goes from second to third. Check goes from first to second. So the tying run in scoring position for Washington. And with the lefty Scotty DeBrule coming up, Max Peterson, the Otters are going to play the matchups and bring in the lefty reliever Leone De La Cruz. 1 out shy of a quality start this evening from Tim Holdgrafer, but he was brilliant. 5 2/3, 2 earned runs allowed, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, didn't allow a hit into the 5th inning. Falling out short of a quality start, but another excellent outing by the Otters ace this evening. Leone De La Cruz coming in to face DeBrule, trying to escape the 6th with the Otters lead still intact. We'll be right back on the Otters Digital Network. All-star to all-star. The all-star starter exits for the Otters and Tim Holdgrafer. They bring in the all-star reliever Leone De La Cruz. 2 outs, 2 on for Washington in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Otters holding on to a 4-2 lead. De La Cruz makes his 35th appearance for the Otters this season. 2.41 ERA. He's allowed just 10 earned runs this year. 57 strikeouts to 17 walks in those 37 innings pitched. Worked to combine 3 innings at Florence in the first series of the week and did not allow a run. Faces the lefty Scotty DeBrule. First pitch home is a check swing foul off the end of the bat. DeBrule is 1 for 2 today with a base hit back in the 5th inning. That was the first hit of the day for Washington. Hitting .292 on the season, which is 2nd best. Make it 3rd best on Washington. Pitch home, slider misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Darvill at 3rd would cut the lead in half if he scored. Check at 2nd, the tying run for Washington here in the bottom of the 6th. Otters trying to take the series from the Wild Things and inch closer to the Frontier League playoffs. 1-1. Chopped foul off the screen. 1-2. A slider with 11 inches of horizontal break from Leone. Working out of the stretch, sets up on the left side of the rubber. Black glove up near his face as he peeks out over for the signs from Felix. Sets at the belt, nods and delivers. Fouled again, straight back. De La Cruz a strike away from escaping more damage here in the 6th inning and keeping the Otters' lead intact into the final 3. 1-2. Slider inside and nearly hit DeBrule, who turned out of the way. One of those front door sliders that gets a little scary in a lefty-on-lefty matchup. It almost looks like it's going to go behind you before cutting into the last second, but that one a little too far in from De La Cruz. 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2 count. Pitch home. Outside and a full count. Another slider missed outside. And DeBrule has worked it full. There is an open base at first with Melvin Novoa, the catcher, on deck. Payoff home. Outside and bouncing into the right-handed batter's box, ball 4. Pulled a fastball down into the turf, and DeBrule able to work a big walk. The bases are loaded for the catcher, Melvin Novoa. 0 for 2 today, making his first start of the series, hitting .207 on the year. Ready batter to face the lefty De La Cruz with the tying run at second for Washington and the go-ahead run at first. Otters lead 4-2 here in the 6th. De La Cruz delivers inside 1-0. Popped up into center field. Quiggle racing back, looking up, and it's off the base of the wall. 1 run will score. Here comes the second run. The throw home is cut off, and Washington, a bases clearing double by Melvin Novoa to take the lead. The Nicaraguan catcher comes through, a double off the base of the wall in center over the head of Quiggle, clears the bases, and Washington has scored 5 in the 6th to take a 5-4 lead. A fastball at the bottom of the zone, and Novoa crushed that one over the head of Quiggle to the deepest part of the ballpark. And with 2 outs, the runners going, everyone around for Washington and easily scoring. And the Wild Things are going to use a pinch hitter here, taking a while to get somebody out into the on-deck circle. Caleb McNeely, who looks to be finally coming out to pinch hit for Tommy Caulfield. Melvin Novoa, a bases-clearing 2-out double for Washington to score 5 here in the 6th and give them a 5-4 lead, a 4-run lead for the Otters erased here in the 6th inning. Caleb McNeely be the 9th batter of the inning. De La Cruz home, inside, and it hit McNeely. A slider inside, clips McNeely, and now there's 2 on for Washington. Still trying to add more runs here in the 6th, and Dakota Phillips is coming on over to try to chat with De La Cruz and calm him down. Justin Felix, the catcher, coming out as well. A leadoff single by Clowers. Mercado doubled to left. Darville a base hit to score 1. Legrand struck out after Check walked to load the bases. Chayka grounded out to score a 2nd run for Washington. With the lefty DeBrule coming up, the Otters brought in the lefty De La Cruz to play the matchup. But DeBrule walked to load the bases, and then Melvin Novoa with the bases clearing double to score 3 for Washington and give them a 5-4 lead. So The meeting concludes, and Caleb Clowers will come up for the second time in this inning for Washington. De La Cruz home. Pitch misses inside. 1-0 to Clowers. 10th batter of the inning for Washington. The Otters pitching so stout, 14 straight innings without allowing a run to Washington. 5 have come across for the Wild Things here in the 6th, as the 1-0 is cut on and miss, 1-1. Without the craziness, but feels somewhat reminiscent of the Otters' loss to Washington last Saturday at Bosse, when the Otters had a 4-run lead going into the 6th inning at Bosse, and a 2-out bases clearing double gave Washington the lead in that game. The 1-1 on the inside corner for his strike, 1-2. Cricket numbers will kill you, and the Otters pitching staff has really struggled in the month of August, it feels like, with 2 outs, getting that pesky 3rd out to escape an inning. One-two home. Popped up by Clowers behind home plate. Justin Felix racing back at the wall, makes the catch. Just had enough room leaning up against the fence to make the catch and end the inning. 5 runs, though, in the 6th for Washington to take the lead. A go-ahead bases clearing double by Melvin Novoa. And it's 5-4 Washington after 6 here from Pennsylvania on the Otters Digital Network. Top 7 from Washington. A 5-run 6th inning for the Wild Things has given them a 5-4 lead on a beautiful Sunday evening from the Commonwealth. The Otters will now need to come from behind against the Washington bullpen. Brian Rosario leads off against a new righty pitcher, Christian James, for Washington. First pitch from the side armor sails outside to the lefty batting Rosario. James pitching for a 2nd straight night for Washington. He makes his 40th appearance of the season. 1-0. On the outside corner is strike 1-1. He's pitched in almost half of Washington's games this season, 40 out of 84 now. Been a reliable reliever, 2.59 ERA and 41 2/3 innings pitched, has allowed just 12 earned runs all year. The 1-1, a strike of the knees, 1 ball and 2 strikes. James pitched a scoreless inning last night with 2 strikeouts and no base runners. Rosario calls time and resets the batting gloves before the 1-2 pitch. Shadows have marched across the first base line, and home plate now in the shadows. Still the rest of the infield in the sunshine. James at the belt, the 1-2. In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 5 hits apiece for both sides, but a 5-4 lead for Washington in the top of the 7th, courtesy of a 5-run 6th inning. 2 walks, a hit batter, 2 singles and 2 doubles for Washington. The big bases clearing double by Melvin Novoa. The go-ahead runs for Washington as Rosario takes low, and it's 2-2. James around and home. Outside, ball 4. So Rosario works a walk on a full count. Now the Otters get their fastest runner at first with nobody out here in the 7th. All they need is 1 to tie, 2 to take the lead. Justin Felix comes to the plate for the Otters. He's reached both times today, a walk and was hit by a pitch. Rosario had 2 stolen bases at Florence, making his first appearance here in Washington of the weekend. He's 44 for 50 on stolen bases this year. The first pitch home to Felix, a strike at the knees. Kyle White, lefty, is warming up in the Washington pen. Otters bullpen is quiet. Rosario a 4-stride lead at first, dancing over there, and he takes off as the 0-1 is pulled outside. Throw down to second is a good one, but safe is Rosario. Just beating the tag on the back from DeBrule, and Brian Rosario marches closer to the Otters' single-season stolen base record. 45 stolen bases now on the season. He's 5 away from tying the most all-time in an Otters single season. Tying run in scoring position now for the Otters with nobody out. The 1-1 pulled outside on a slider. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rosario is certainly a threat here to steal third, but with nobody out, you probably don't risk it and hope that one way or the other you can advance. Has a 4-stride lead over at second base with the second baseman behind the bag. The 2-1 is fouled off the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 5-4 Washington lead in the top of the 7th with the series on the line this evening here from Western Pennsylvania. James on the right side of the rubber, delivers, fouled again, straight back. George Khalil, who's had a great week, is on deck for the Otters, 0 for 2, and then it's back to the top of the lineup for Evansville. Looking to mount a rally, they had a 4-0 lead, but 5 runs in the 6th, erasing that. Tim Holdgrafer will have a no decision today with De La Cruz right now on the line for the loss as Waka DeBrule, and then he came around to score the go-ahead run. 2-2, swing and a miss. Fastball at 93 up, strikes out Felix. He's out for the first time today, and there's 1 out in the 7th. Otters never looked to advance Rosario there. Bring up the shortstop, George Khalil, who's 0 for 2 today. George has had a great week. His last 6 games played, 11 hits, 2 triples, 4 runs. 3-hit series, including an RBI base hit yesterday. There's baseman Darvill aligned with the bag at third. The pitch home, Khalil spoils it off the screen, 0-1. Darvill working on the right side of the rubber. Peeks back at second. And the side armor, James home. Khalil pops it up high in the air down the left field line. Lagrange, the left fielder, racing over, but will run out of room as it bounces off the roof of the visiting clubhouse. Oh, 0-2 count to the Australian shortstop. Has an 8-game hit streak going, trying to maintain that here today and try to give the Otters the RBI base hit to retie the game here in the 7th. They trail 5-4. Long look in for Christian James. He delivers outside on a slider, 1 ball and 2 strikes. This would be a sweet bus ride back home for the Otters if they can find a way to win today and make it a winning 4-2 road trip. 1-2, outside again, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another slider from James. Kyle White, the lefty, might be coming in for the next batter regardless, with 2 of the next 3 batters lefties after Khalil, with Myers on deck. 2-2 home. Popped up right side off the end of the bat. Racing over is Brocado under the baseball. A few steps from the track, makes the catch. Rosario will tag to third. What a throw! Rosario's out. Anthony Brocado with the best throw you'll see today in baseball. A bullet right at the line from right all the way to third. And he had Rosario, one of the fastest runners in the league, out comfortably. My goodness. The Otters' threat ends in the 7th. 1 walk, that's all. We'll stretch here at Wild Things Park. It's Washington 5, Evansville 4 on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Final stretch of the road trip completed here in Washington. It's a 5-4 lead for the Wild Things over the Otters. A 5-run 6th inning for Washington, erasing a 4-0 deficit. Brian Rosario thrown out on a spectacular throw from Anthony Brocado in right to end the top of the 7th. Leone De La Cruz, who gave up the go-ahead runs for the Otters in the 6th, will remain out here in the bottom of the 7th. Already Anthony Brocado leads off. First pitch missed outside from Leone. The lefty delivers. Low again. 2 balls and no strikes to Brocado. Just felt like a game that was in the Otters' hands. Tim Oldgrafer was dealing. Otters got some more insurance in the 6th, but can fall apart in a matter of moments, and it did in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-0, hacked and missed. 2 balls and 1 strike. And credit to Washington, really a must-win game. They have any chance of making the playoffs. And they mount a big inning in the 6th inning. Finally got to Oldgrafer, chased him out of the game, and De La Cruz a little bit wild as he 2-1 misses inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. A little bit wild, it felt like, coming out in the 6th inning, and then ended up loading the bases, and Elvin Novoa, who's hitting just over 200, delivers with the big hit. Bases clearing double off the center field wall. The 3-1 is popped up by Brocado. To shallow left, coming in is Rosario, fighting the late evening sun under the baseball. Makes the catch, 1 away. If you have a group of friends or coworkers who wish to come to historic Bosse Field and enjoy an Otters home game, contact the Otters front office to reserve a party deck on the Corona Extra Patio Deck. The Corona Extra Patio Deck is one of the best places to watch the game with an all-you-can-eat menu and unlimited bottled water and soft drinks. Call 812-435-8686 for more information on how you can book your next celebration. And it better happen in the next week, your next celebration, because the Otters only have 6 home games left, and it's all in the next week. Wes Darville takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner from De La Cruz. Lefty on lefty matchup again. With 1 out and nobody on in the bottom of the 7th, the Otters trail 5-4. De La Cruz home. A front door slider is a beaut in on the inside corner for his strike, 0-2. Otters used both Kevin Davis and Jake Polancic last night. Here's the 0-2 home. Swing and a miss. What an at-bat there for De La Cruz facing Darville. A few nasty sliders, and he strikes him out on 3 pitches. That was more like it for Leone. 2 outs, nobody on, and brings up Wagner Lagrange. While both, though, Polancic and Davis used last night, not a huge amount of workload. 16 pitches for Polancic. Davis did need 32 last night. So he's probably not available this evening as Lagrange takes a first pitch strike at the knees. But Polancic certainly is if need be. 0-1 from Leone outside. 1-1 strike to the ready Lagrange. 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors for the Otters. 5 runs on 5 hits, no errors for Washington. All 5 runs for the Wild Things in the 6th. The Otters 2 runs in the 3rd, 2 runs in the 6th. 1-1 home. He is lined right side and foul, heading for the parking lot. Look out, cars. One, two. Hacked foul again right side. Lagrange stays alive. Late evening sunshine poking through the trees out onto the field. Streaks of sunlight streaking across the field from the first base side all the way to the Otters bullpen, which is still in the sunshine in the left. The mound has just gone into mostly shadows. 1-2, chopped off the inside of the bat, left side, backhanded by the shortstop. Khalil collects and throws to first in time to complete a 1-2-3 7th inning for De La Cruz. On to the 8th, the Otters searching for a comeback to win the series. They trail 5-4 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. A tight ball game as we go to the 8th inning here from Washington, Pennsylvania. The series on the line. The last couple innings of baseball, 5-4 lead for Washington on a 5-run 6th inning, 2-out bases clearing double by Melvin Novoa, giving the Wild Things a lead. Justin Goosen Brown righty in the ball game for Washington. He makes his 26th appearance of the season, 36 innings pitched, a fantastic 2.75 ERA for Goosen Brown. Another guy the Otters have seen a lot. This is his 5th appearance against the Otters over the last 2 weekends. He pitched 3 times at Bosse Field last weekend, allowed 1 run on 2 hits and 2 combined innings pitched. He pitched a scoreless inning last night with 1 strikeout. Hasn't allowed a run in his last 4 2/3 innings pitched. He'll face the top of the Otters lineup. The lefty Noah Myers digs in. First pitch to Myers, a strike at the letters. Another side armor the Otters facing here in Goosen Brown. Noah with a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning, walked in the 6th and came around to score. He scored 2 of the 4 Otters runs. Goosen Brown home. Myers takes all the way again for a strike 0-2. Washington trying to win their 3rd straight series for the first time all season. Otters trying to win back-to-back road series for just the 2nd time this year. The Wild Things in must-win mode here to keep their playoff hopes alive. A win keeps them tied for Joliet for 4th in the West. 5.5 back of the Otters for the last playoff spot. 0-2 outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Myers. Almost all the field now in shadows. Far extreme left field still in the final rays of the sunshine of this week. 1-2, missing outside again on a breaking ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Otters are just 2-30 this season when trailing after the 7th inning. Comebacks have not been the Otters' strong suit this year. Goosen Brown sets below the belt. Fires home. Check swing by Myers on a pitch outside of the zone. He held up in a full count. Second baseman DeBrule is pointing it down the third base line at Jim Shalley. He wants an appeal, but he's not going to get it. Big payoff pitch coming to Myers. Here it is. Popped up left side, high in the air. Wagner-Lagrange racing over in foul territory. He'll run out of room as it bounces off the clubhouse. Lights have just been turned on, but not into effect yet, with the sun setting to our west here in the beautiful rolling hills of Appalachia. Second payoff pitch coming. Goosen Brown below the belt. Winds home. Fastball just missed high, ball 4. That's a gutsy take by Myers. He works his second walk of the day. The Otters have the leadoff runner aboard here in the 8th. Myers has reached his last 3 at-bats, 2 walks and a homer. Kona Quayle has been very quiet this weekend here in Washington. This would be a time to wake up. 0 for 3 today, and he's 0 for 12 in total on the series, yet to reach base. Ground out, strikeout, and fly out. Myers with great speed at first, has 2 stolen bases today and 33 on the season. Another lefty batter for Goosen Brown to face. Fires home, swing and a miss by Quiggle, 0-1. Jeffrey Baez, who's 1 for 3, is on deck. The red-hot Dakota Phillips falls him. Part of the Otters lineup trying to mount a comeback in the 8th, trailing 5-4 with nobody out and 1 on. Black glove for Goosen Belt, wearing black and white stockings with white pants tucked just below the knees. He steps off and fires back to first. Myers a head first slide back into the bag safely. The Otters have the comeback in them to get a big comeback victory and march closer to the playoffs with just 2 weeks left to go in the season. The 0-1 is swung on and lofted into shallow center. Racing in Chacon will make a running catch. Caught up just enough for the center fielder to make a running catch. Quiggle flies out, and there's 1 out in the 8th. Myers at first, and the designated hitter, big Jeffrey Baez, comes to the plate. Baez 1 for 3 today, and a base hit back in the 6th as the Otters scored 2 in the inning. Hitting .290 on the year with 83 hits, 3rd most on the Otters. Goosen Brown on the right side of the rubber, winds home. Baez swings at the first pitch and pops it up on the infield. Third baseman Darvill right by the third base bag, reaches up the glove and makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out there for Goosen Brown, and the Otters need a hit here from Dakota Phillips. 2 outs, Myers at first. Dak is 1 for 3 today, trying to top off his incredible week. He has 13 hits, with 6 of them going for extra bases this week and 8 driven in. Base hit back in the 6th inning for the Otters. Lefty hitter to face Goosen Brown. Otters down to their last 4 outs tonight. Another pickoff throw back to first, and Myers a head-first slide back into the bag. With 2 outs, the Otters unlikely, I think, here to send Myers. Might have happened earlier, but not at this point. Check is holding him off the bag, and the second baseman DeBrule playing to pull a few steps out into right. Pitch home, outside, 1-0 to Phillips. Dak has done everything for the Otters this week. This would be a big way to cap the road trip off. Maybe the best week for any Otter hitter all season. Goosen Brown still working out of the windup. At the belt, delivers home. Swing and a miss. One to Phillips. Swing and a miss again. Fastball up in the zone for a second straight pitch. 1-2 to Dak. Right fielder Brocado playing back a few steps in front of the track. The whole outfield shifted over, playing Phillips to pull to the right. 1-2 to Phillips. Goose and Brown a strike away from ending the inning. The pitch outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Whole field now in shadows. Last sunlight bouncing off beautiful green deciduous trees to our west. 2-2 to Phillips. Houston Brown sets below the bell. The side armor spins around to first. Another pickoff throw back to Myers, who's in safely without a tag. Now Goose and Brown's used both disengagements, so Myers can take a really big lead at first base. I think a ball to the outfield with 2 outs. Who knows, Myers might try to score off that, especially if it's hit to the gaps. 1 on, 2 outs, and a 2-2 count here in the 8th. The Otters trail by 1. Myers takes off, pitch home, right down the middle, strike 3 called. A slider on the outside corner catches Phillips looking and retires the side in the 8th. The Otters strand 1 in the 8th on a leadoff walk, no runs. As we move to the bottom of the 8th, it's Washington in front 5-4 on the Otters Digital Network. A 5-4 lead for the Wild Things over the Otters as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Leone De La Cruz will remain out for Evansville for the second full inning of work. He's on tap for the loss. Washington scored 5 in the 6th. Melvin Novoa, a bases clearing double for the Wild Things with 2 outs to give them the go-ahead run. De La Cruz will try to get a few more outs here in the 8th, keep it a 1-run game going to the 9th. Andrew Check, lefty, leads off for Washington and takes a first pitch strike on a front door slider. Otters will have Reyes, Skinner, and Rosario due up in the 9th. Otters have just 1 comeback trailing into the 9th inning this season. The 0-1 misses outside, 1 ball to 1 strike. 5 runs on 5 hits, no errors for Washington. 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors for Evansville. 1-1. Is lined high in the air to right field, racing over is Myers, and it will 1 hop off the turf and over the wall, a ground rule double. Check lines one down the right field line, a leadoff double in the 8th. Washington looking for that big second run of insurance. Kevin Davis is warming in the Otters bullpen. And Max Peterson is going to come on out, likely to take De La Cruz out of the ballgame. He's at 27 pitches here. Approaching a season high of 34, and that will do it for De La Cruz. Ball taken from him. Kevin Davis will come in here for the Otters to try to get the last 3 outs of the 8th and keep it a 1-run game. We'll be right back. Otters trail 5-4 in the bottom of the 8th on the Otters Digital Network. Kevin Davis into the ball game for the Otters with a runner at second and nobody out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Otters trail 5-4, trying to keep it a one-run game going to the 9th. Davis making an appearance for the second straight night. He worked a perfect 8th inning last night for the Otters, setting up for the victory. One inning pitched on just 16 pitches, or check that, on 32 pitches, 2 strikeouts and no walks. A bunt laid down by Chayka, third base side, fielded by Reyes, throw to first in time to get the sprinting Chayka one away. Phillips came in on the bunt, and so Skinder had to come over from second base. Really made a nice run over to get there in time, and Reyes, the barehanded throw from down the line. Chayka not waiting around, just laying down a bunt and advancing the runner, and Tom Vaith doesn't agree with the call, and he's walking over to talk with Mike O'Leary. Check moves to third with 1 out, and DeBrule coming to the plate. Now, all 3 umpires are going to meet here to discuss things. Five to 4, Washington leads Evansville, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Chayka is just standing at first base in belief that he is safe. It was a bang-bang play at first base. Guess if Drew Taylor or Jim Shaley saw something different at home or third, they could overrule the call. Mike O'Leary at first calling him out. Really long conversation between this 3-man Frontier League umpiring crew. I mean, if no one saw it, other than O'Leary, who called him out, you got to stick with the call on the field. Essentially, the play stands, so I don't know why it's taking so long. Certainly, Kevin Davis on the bump. He's swiping at the rubber and frustrated, and now they're going to call him safe. Wow. Of course, Andy McCauley comes right out of the Otters dugout now to discuss things. I just don't know how you have a 2-minute conversation and now you're seeing him as safe. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. There's no instant replay in the Frontier League. I mean, you can go back and think about things, but on a bang-bang call, it's your best judgment is what you saw in the moments. So the delay will last longer here as McCauley discusses things with all 3 umpires, Jim Taylor, Mike O'Leary, and Jim Shaley. Kevin Davis is going to start taking some warm-up throws at this point. We've had a 3-minute delay or so. So if Chayka is safe, he's at first, checks at third, and there's still nobody out in the 8th with Washington leading 5-4. And certainly a big call. The Otters trying to keep it a 1-run ball game going into the 9th to have a chance at a comeback to win the series. Check led off the inning with a ground rule double to right, and then Kevin Davis coming in, very first pitch, Chayka laying down a bunt to the right side, and Reyes' throw from third, a close pay. Phillips at first came in, and Skinder had to come over from second to cover the bag, and Andy McCauley heads back to the Otters dugout disappointed. So they overrule the call. Chayka safe at first. The call an infield base hit with check at third. Still nobody out for Scotty DeBrule, the second baseman. He walked with 2 outs against Taylor Cruz back in the 6th and would come around to score the go-ahead run for Washington on the bases clearing double from Melvin Novoa. Lefty DeBrule. Davis sets at the chest, nods and delivers. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike at 93 miles per hour. All under the shadows now. The sun is set and the lights just barely starting to come into effect on a lovely evening. 0-1 is fouled left side and off the side of the screen. 5 runs on 7 hits, no errors for Washington. 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors for Evansville. The Wild Things scoring 5 in the 6th inning to erase a 4-0 Otters lead. Great start by Tim Oldgrafer. All fell apart in the 6th inning. The 0-2 grounded left side and foul. I mentioned it before, this game just feels very similar to last Saturday night when these teams played at Bosse and Braden Scott was dominant, and then things went south in the 6th, Washington would end up winning 9-5 to clinch that series. Otters' early lead was a 4-run lead there as well. Disappeared in the matter of an inning. 0-2, slap left side, glove by Reyes. He'll throw across the diamond to first for the first out. Down to second goes Chayka, and Check holds at third. Reyes gave him a stern look to make sure he stayed at the bag, and the only play was to get DeBrule at first. So it's a much-needed first out for the Otters. There's 2 in scoring position for Melvin Novoa, who's played hero ball so far for Washington. 1 out, Novoa, the bases clearing double in the 6th. He's 1 for 3 today. 5-4 Washington lead with 1 out in the 8th. The Otters hoping to keep it at 1 for a chance at a comeback in the 9th. Davis home, a fastball misses outside. Gateway has won today. Schaumburg has lost. Otters entered the day 5 games back of the first place Grizzlies. And 4 games back of second place Schaumburg. 13 games left to play after today for the Otters. 1-0. Fastball right down the middle, 1 ball and 1 strike. Otters return for 6 at home next week. Final 6 home games of the season at Bosse. 3 games against Joliet, and the Slammers still have a shot at the playoffs. If the Otters lose tonight, the Slammers are just 5.5 back of the Otters for that last playoff spot. Joliet's coming in with a lot of confidence, too. 1-1 cut on and missed by Novoa, 1-2. Not sure there's a team playing better baseball outside of maybe Quebec or New Jersey in August than Joliet. Sweeping Florence, their 3rd sweep of the month. 1-2 count to Novoa. Otters corner infield, or middle infield, I should say, playing in, as Novoa will call time at the last moment. Check at third, Chayka at second. The wild thing is not very interested in the game, but he is trying to get the crowd to do the wave right now. He's like that too drunk guy in the stands who doesn't even know the game, but is very preoccupied in getting everyone's attention to do the wave. As the 1-2 misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The wild thing is collapsed on top of the dugout. Maybe he has had a few drinks. 2-2 count to Novoa. 2 in scoring position for Washington. They lead 5-4, 1 out in the 8th. Davis delivers. Popped up off the end of the bat. High in the sky in shallow center. Will this be deep enough for Check? Quiggle makes the catch. Here comes Check. Nope, now he stops as Phillips cuts it off the mound, and Check dives back to the third base bag without a throw. There's a faster runner at third there. I think Tom Vaith would have sent him, but Quiggle with a good arm. Got a good run in, too. Is able to make a quick throw. Made the catch coming in forward. Momentum brought him in, and Check not a quick runner. Second out of the inning. Check holds at third. Chayka at second. And Caleb McNeely, who pinch hit for Tommy Caulfield back in the 6th and was hit by a pitch, comes up for the 2nd time today. Davis trying to get out of the jam in the 8th. Keep it a 1-run ball game going to the 9th. Davis home. Pitch misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. A late game for a Sunday for the Otters, who will have just under a 7-hour bus ride back to the River City for a day off and opening up that series with Joliet on Tuesday evening. 1-0, misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes to McNeely. First base is open with the number 9 batter, Carson Clowers, already on deck. Two 2-0 to Davis. Misses outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Washington will have a 6-game road trip after this. At Schaumburg to start the week. And then against Lake Erie before they come back home for a 6-game homestand to finish the season. A win today gives them a shot still really to make the playoffs, but they're going to have to get hot. 3-0. On the outside corner is strike 3-1. Certainly that series at Schaumburg's a tough one. You think Washington, if they win today, has won 3 series in a row. Probably needs to win all 4 of those series and maybe throw in a sweep in there. They want to catch the Otters and hold off the Slammers. Joliet and Washington will play here in Washington in 2 weeks. The 3-1 misses outside, ball 4. McNeely works a walk. First base runner Davis has allowed outside of the bunt base hit by Chayka. Bases are loaded for the shortstop Carson Clowers. Check at third, Chayka at second, McNeely at first. Davis trying to get the last out here in the eighth. One swing of the bat here for Washington could pretty much end the ball game. Clowers had a base hit back in the sixth inning, came around to score in that 5-run six for Washington. Davis home, chopper right back to the mound. Davis fields it, he'll toss over to first. It's not a great throw, but Phillips keeps his foot on the bag as the throw took him down the line, and the Otters escape the jam in the eighth inning unsaved. Good work by Davis. Coming in out of the bullpen, the Otters a chance for a comeback in the ninth. Reyes, Skinder, Rosario coming up for the Otters as they trail 5-4 on the Otters digital network. To the ninth from Wild Things Park, a 5-4 lead for Washington over Evansville. A 5-run six still holding up for the Wild Things, and they're 3 outs away from winning their 3rd straight playoff series. Taking all 3 series from the Otters and moving to 5.5 back of Evansville for the last playoff spot in the West. Otters trying to complete just their 2nd 9th inning comeback of the season. Their only one a few weeks ago. A 9th inning come from behind victory over Schaumburg when they scored 2 in the 9th and 1 in sudden death. Reyes, Skinner, Rosario due up against the righty closer Lucas Young for Washington. Reyes 1 for 3 today, a base hit back in the 6th inning. Young, the righty on the mound, pitching for the 2nd straight day. The first pitch home, in for a strike at the knees. Young pitched a flawless inning last night. One inning didn't allow a base runner. Sets at the belt, and the 0-1 is chopped up the middle, softly hit, over his Clowers to glove it, bobbles it, falls back to the turf, and Reyes safe at first. A broken bat grounder up the middle was pretty softly hit. Clowers knew he had to make a quick play, and instead he makes the air, letting the ball eat him up. So Reyes aboard on the E6. And it brings up Ethan Skinder, 1 for 3 today. Skinder has 3 hits on the series, including a homer yesterday. He shows bunt, pulls it back, it sails high, 1-0. Young has 11 saves on the season. That's second best in the Frontier League West, only behind the Otters' Jake Polancic. 4-1 in 33 innings, 37 in the 3rd innings pitched, 31 strikeouts to just 8 walks. Earned a save over the Otters last weekend at Bosse. 1-0. Skinder shows bunt, pops it up behind home plate, but it will go all the way back to the screen, 1-1. Reyes, the tying run at first for the Otters. Nobody out in the 9th. They trail 5-4. 1-1 count to Skinder with Brian Rosario slated to be on deck, but Gary Mattis appears to be pinch hitting for him. He's in the on-deck circle. Third baseman Darvill in on the grass at third. The 1-1 is taken for a strike on the outside corner. A 93-mile-per-hour fastball caught the black. Darvill moves back to 5 steps behind the third base back. Reyes at first with nobody out. The 1-2 is lined high in the air to left field. Back to LaGrange. He leaps. It's gone. Ethan Skinder, 2-run home run, puts the as clutch as it gets. Ice water in the veins of Skinder, and Evansville takes a 6-5 lead. Just over the left field wall, out of the reach of Lagrange. It's back-to-back nights with a homer for Ethan Skinder, and maybe the most clutch hit of the year for the Otters. Gary Mattis swings at the first pitch he sees, drives it to right, and it's caught by Bricado. One out now in the ninth. The go-ahead two-run home run by Ethan Skinder has given the Otters a 6-5 lead. One out, and it brings up Justin Felix, the catcher. My goodness. Ninth home run of the season for Skinder. Back-to-back nights. The Otters 12 home runs now on this road trip. First pitch to Felix, misses outside for a ball, 1-0. What a last two games for Skinder. 3 days off, wasn't hitting well. 2 for his last 24 over 7 games. The 1-0 misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Come back yesterday, scores the only 2 runs for the Otters in a 2-1 win. A double and came around to score, and then the go-ahead run in the 5th. He comes up here in the 9th and launches the go-ahead 2-run home run to left. The 2-0 cut on and missed, 2-1 to Felix. Ethan is one of the hardest working guys you will meet. He really demands perfection of himself. The 2-1 by Felix is popped up high in the air down the right field line. Bricado racing over, hat is off, slides, and outside of his reach, bouncing into the Wild Things bullpen. 2-2 to Felix. Washington will have the top of the lineup coming up in the 9th. Brocado, Darville, and Lagrange. And the Otters closer, Jake Polancic, is warming up in the Otters bullpen. He worked the save last night in the 9th in a 1-run ball game. Didn't allow a base runner. Five unanswered by Washington. They scored 5 in the bottom of the 6th. A go-ahead 2-run home run in the 9th by Ethan Skinder has put the Otters in front. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Felix down on strikes, 2 away. Reyes reached on the air by Clowers, who bobbled a ball at short and never ended up even being able to make the throw. And then Skinder launching a ball over the left field wall. A stunned crowd right now here at Wild Things Park. George Khalil comes to the plate, 0 for 3 today. 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the 9th. A 6-5 Otters lead. Young home, and Khalil chops it foul off the back of his foot. What a win this could be for the Otters. They get back-to-back Road Series wins, 4-2 on a 6-game road trip, and lower the Otters' magic number for the playoffs down to 7 with a real chance to clinch next week at Bosse. 0-1. Breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike. 0-2. Six runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Otters. 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for Washington. 0-2 to Khalil outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two from Young. Khalil pops it up high in the air down the right field line. Bricado racing over. Hat flies off again, and he makes the basket catch in the Washington bullpen. Impressive play by Bricado. It's the Otters, though, and Ethan Skinder, a go-ahead 2-run home run over the left field wall to give Evansville a 6-5 lead. The Otters closer, Jake Polancic, into the game as the Otters 3 outs away from a series victory, a winning road trip, and a major step forward back to the Frontier League playoffs. We're back in a minute on the Otters Digital Network. Back at Wild Things Park for the bottom of the ninth inning, a 6-5 lead for the Otters over the Wild Things on a go-ahead 2-run home run by Ethan Skinder. Jake Polancic, the Otters closer into the ballgame, trying to get the last 3 outs of the Otters road trip. 25 appearances on the season for Polancic. He's 14 of 16 on save opportunities, the third most saves in the Frontier League, and leads the West Division. He needed just 16 pitches for his save last night. Got 3 quick outs with 2 strikeouts. He faced Darvill, McNeely, and LaGrange last night. Struck out Darvill and LaGrange. He'll face Brocado, Darvill, and LaGrange, the top of the lineup here for Washington in the bottom of the ninth. Brocado 1 for 4 today with a double and tied for third in home runs in the league. Polancic home. Pitch misses outside, 1-0 to Brocado. Polancic looking to work his 5th straight save from the mound. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Changeup falling out of the zone. 1-1. Lights starting to come into effect. The sun has set here at Wild Things Park. 1-1. Breaking ball on the inside corner, 1-2. But 3 straight breaking balls by Polancic to start this at bat to Brocado. You're facing a power batter, you take something off of it. Polancic working out of the windup on the right side of the rubber. Sets at the belt, kicks and throws. Just outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes on another breaking ball. Otters outfield playing very deep. Gary Mattis is in for Brian Rosario in left field after pinch hitting for him. He's a couple steps from the track. 2-2. Flied off the end of the bat, right side, and out of play. Quiggle in center is maybe 5 steps in front of the track, and Myers in right maybe 10 or so. Another 2-2 pitch coming. Polancic at the belt, kicks and fires. Fastball at the knees, strike 3 called. 95 from Polancic, 1 away in the ninth. It brings up Wes Darvill, the Washington third baseman, with 1 out and nobody on in the ninth. The Otters 2 outs away from a stunning come-from-behind victory. A go-ahead 2-run home run in the ninth by Skinder. Pitch home to the lefty, swung on and fouled off the screen. Darvill struck out looking, facing Polancic last night. He is 1 for 4 tonight with a base hit in the 6th. Polancic kicks and delivers. Check swing foul off the end of the bat and trickles down the third base line, 0-2. Only 1 come-from-behind victory in the ninth all season by the Otters a few weeks ago against Schaumburg when they tied it in the ninth and won in sudden death. Trying to do it on the road for the first time all season. 0-2 from Polancic. Inside and nearly hit Darvill, who cut out of the way of it. You don't want a 94-mile-per-hour fastball to hit you. 1-2. Road game number 39 of the year for the Otters. They had dropped 5 straight road series entering this road trip. Won the rubber match against Florence. They're close to doing so again here against Washington. 1-2. Popped up high in the air into center field. Taking Quiggle a few steps in. Puts up his hands for a second. Doesn't know where the ball is, and now he does. And makes the catch. 2 away. And it's all down to Wagner LaGrange, the Wild Things left fielder. One of the more flashy players in the league. He's 0 for 4 today. Had a 3-run home run on Friday, but is 0 for his last 8. 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the ninth. Otters lead 6-5. Polancic home. Breaking ball outside on a slider, 1-0. Ready batter, unready pitcher. Otters an out away from a stunning come-from-behind victory here in Washington. 1-0 home. Inside, nearly hit LaGrange on the hand. He backs out of the way. 2 balls and no strikes. Polancic at the belt, a pillar of stillness. Now he delivers. Inside, 3-0 to Lagrange. If Lagrange reaches, the big first baseman Andrew Check is on deck. He's worked 2 walks and has a double today. 3-0 home. Take it all the way, right down the middle. 3 balls, 1 strike to Lagrange, 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the 9th. Otters lead 6-5. Polancic winds home. Swung on and chopped left side. Reyes fields it by the third base bag. Throw to first in time to get Lagrange, and the Otters win it in Washington. A 9th inning come from behind victory for the Otters marches them another step closer to the Frontier League playoffs and deals likely a lethal blow to the Wild Things playoff hopes. Ethan Skinder playing hero for the 2nd straight night with a go-ahead 2-run home run, and the Otters stun the Wild Things tonight here in Washington, a 6-5 victory. What a game, what a road trip for the Otters. Their first winning 6-game road trip this season. They'd gone 2-4 twice, 3-3 in one 6-game road trip, but they win both series the hard way as well this week. Dropped the series opener, won back-to-back against Florence to win the series on a historic 22-hit output night on Thursday night, and then tonight, one of their more inspiring comebacks of the season. A 2-run go-ahead home run by Ethan Skinder in the 9th to stun everyone here at Wild Things Park and give the Otters a 6-5 victory. Your final totals tonight: Otters 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Washington 5 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. The Otters left 3 stranded. Washington left 7 stranded. It was a game that the Otters felt like they had control of. They scored 2 in the 3rd. Noah Myers capped off his excellent week, his 3rd homer of the week with a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. The Otters got 2 more in the 6th. Dakota Phillips, Yomar Reyes had RBI base hits. Dak finished off his incredible week as well. He finished with 13 hits and 9 RBIs in 6 games on the road trip. Otters were in front 4-0. Tim Holdgrafer was dealing for Evansville. He allowed just 2 hits, just 1 hit make it through the first 5 innings, but Washington would put together 5 runs in the 6th inning. Chase Holdgrafer, a bases-clearing go-ahead double by Melvin Novoa, put Washington in front 6-5, and you wondered if the Otters had anything left. We'll just have to take with them a 3-3 road trip, but after stranding runners in the 7th and the 8th, Ethan Skinder playing hero. Yomar Reyes reached on an error by the shortstop Carson Clowers, and Ethan Skinder bashing a 2-run home run over the left field wall to give the Otters the 6-5 lead. And Jake Polancic doing what he does best, earning another save for the Otters, the 15th save of the season for Polancic. That's now tied for the 2nd most in the Frontier League. What a win for Evansville, their 2nd come-from-behind victory in the 9th this season, their 1st on the road, and they move to 9 games over 500, 46-37. They're now 3 games back of Schaumburg for 2nd place in the West, and they stay 5 games back of 1st place. Gateway Washington playoff hopes really non-existent now. They're 7.5 back of the Otters for the last playoff spot, and a game back of Joliet for 4th place in the West. Slammers 6.5 back of the Otters for the last playoff spot in the West. They've got one last chance to catch Evansville. A 3-game series between the Otters and the Slammers starts on Tuesday night in Evansville. It should be a really interesting series. Red-hot Slammers, their offense is picked up. They have some of the best pitchers in the league. They'll throw their ace Cole Cook on Tuesday, and then the former Otters pitcher Ryan O'Reilly will throw on Wednesday. Those teams so far this season 3-3, the Otters and the Slammers. Slammers took the first series in Joliet, and then Otters took the 2nd series from the Slammers in late June. Magic number for the Otters, it's down to 7. They have a chance to clinch at Bosse Field and try to go back to the playoffs for a second straight season and go to the playoffs under the direction of manager Andy McCauley for the 6th time in the last 7 years. 6-5, a come-from-behind victory for the Otters tonight. Ethan Skinner, a go-ahead 2-run home run, and a still stunned Wild Things Park crowd filtering out of Washington on this Sunday evening. Looking forward to the final 6-game homestand at Bossier Field. We hope you can enjoy us for a little bit more Otters baseball for the summer end. 6:35 first pitches for every game Tuesday through Saturday before a Sunday 12:35 first pitch. Otters will play Florence over the weekend series. Want to thank everyone that's made another 6-game road trip possible, from Brandon, our bus driver, to the excellent care I've gotten in press boxes in Florence and now here in Washington. It's been another delightful road trip, and so thankful for all the hospitality everyone across the Frontier League has offered, and in Northern Kentucky and here in beautiful Western Pennsylvania. I've been Griffin Epstein here on the Otters Digital Network for our entire Flow Sports production team here in Washington and back in Texas with Flow Sports. It's the final tonight, a come-from-behind victory in the 9th for the Otters. They defeat Washington 6-5, finish the 6-game road trip 4-2, and lower their magic number to just 7. We'll talk to you again on Tuesday. Enjoy the day off on Monday, and good night from Washington.